Roy, what's going on?
Yo,
What's poppin'?
good.
What's going on?
What's going
Roy
on, brother?
Sipel, what's poppin'?
Hey,
Feels good. Let me shorten
what's
up my
up, bro?
camera. Man, life is great, man. No complaints. Life is great. Life is
Life
great.
is amazing. Can't
Let
complain,
me
man.
share it to a couple people, man. We're about to have some fun tonight
For
and really
sure.
enjoy
For sure,
the
man. I'm excited.
festivities. Yeah. We're about to have some fun tonight, man. Let me send it to a lot of people. I got so many darn people on my page. God, I'm just picking and choosing. They don't have an all button. Like, my God, like,
Right? I don't
okay,
know.
like they don't even have an all button. Like, man, look, first and foremost, man, Roy, appreciate you tuning in tonight to give people some gems, man. A lot of people need some gems. A lot of us want to create wealth. When it comes to Tampa, Florida, we got Roy Sipel. The real estate cartel is in the building. It feels good. Roy, man, appreciate you coming on tonight. Of course, it's
Appreciate
going
you
to go on
having me,
live.
bro.
All love, baby. All love. It's going to be on, of course, YouTube. This is going to go on Facebook. Eventually, we're hoping that one day this could go viral.
One day.
A lot of people, first and foremost, Roy. Who is Roy? You know, when it comes to real estate, I get it. You're the GOAT. When it comes to Tampa, you have made some movements that a lot of people can't even understand. And again, a lot of people are asking, who is Roy Sipel? How did you start? Tell us a little bit about Mr. Roy Sipel himself, the real estate cartel of Tampa.
I appreciate it, brother. And thank you again for having me, man. Real estate, man, I got into it at a young age. And when I was 17 years old in 2003, back in Queens, New York. Today, I invest in real estate. I own a real estate brokerage and investment company. How I got into it is actually a funny story, man. I graduated high school back in 2003, barely graduated, didn't really have nothing going for me in life. I was working at Blockbuster Video, if you remember Blockbuster, for $6 an hour, man. And I absolutely hated it. I dreaded life. Yeah, and I had just graduated high school, so I decided to quit my job there. And I'm home one day, I'm playing video games. My mom walks into my room, says, "What are you doing home? Why aren't you at work?" I said, "Mom, I quit." She said, No, you got to get a job. My mom used to read the newspaper every week. One day she's reading the newspaper. She sees an ad, full page ad. Real estate agents wanted, no experience necessary, make $100,000 a year or more. Call Danny. That's all the ad said. I swear to God. She comes to the room, says, "Here, call the ad." I told her, "No, Mom, that's a scam. You know, who's going to make $100,000 a year? This is back then, 03, didn't even have hair on my face. Who's going to buy a house for me?" Every day, bro, every day she walks into my room for 2 weeks. Did you call? Did you call? No. 2 weeks later, she picks up the phone, calls up Danny, the guy, the manager in the ad, tells him, "I want my son to work for you," throws the phone in my face. That's how I got started in real estate.
You know, let me ask, you know, one thing I know, don't get me wrong, when it comes to different asset classes, there's, of course, real estate, there's stocks, there's crypto. What made you, okay, I get the fact of what made you choose real estate. Why Tampa? Why Tampa? Compared to any other, you got Gainesville, Jacksonville, you got Fort Lauderdale, Miami. Why Tampa?
It's really just luck. It just ended up being this way. My father actually moved down here a few years before me. I've been down in Florida, in Tampa, for the past 5-6 years. My father's been down here for about 8-9. Every time I came down to visit him from New York, I never wanted to leave. You know, the sky is bluer, the grass is greener. I mean, Florida is freaking amazing. I sit there and ask myself, what did I do all those years up in New York? Right now, it's like negative, freezing temperatures. And, you know, in New York, there's this stigma that down here in Florida, there's no work, there's no business, there's no nothing. When I came down here, honestly, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy making that transition. When I came down here 5 years ago, man, I had absolutely zero. I had to start everything from scratch. But I wanted to be closer to family. So eventually I made the move down here and just started it up from literally nothing.
I got to be honest with you. I've seen some checks that you posted online, $60,000, $90,000 profits, $80,000 profits. You're making people's salaries as a net profit on one investment. Can you tell me this? Are you flipping real estate, meaning rehabbing, or are you wholesaling real estate, or are you buying, holding? Which aspect of real estate are you doing?
Excellent question. I'm really glad that you asked that. So I personally, I hate wholesaling. I hate wholesalers. I hate anything to do with wholesaling. And most of all, I hate people who call wholesaling flipping, say, "I flipped 1,000 houses," and they've never actually rehabbed even single one. All they did was wholesale. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with wholesaling houses. Wholesaling houses is when you find a house for a certain price point and sell it off to an investor for a small profit, usually around 10 grand, and let the investor go ahead and renovate the property and resell it for the larger profit. It's a good business model when you need the money, when you're starting out, when you don't, you know, have the means of getting into that property. But to make that into a full-time business, wholesaling, it's the dumbest thing. It's the dumbest thing. People have been trying to poach me for the longest time. Hey, join my wholesale company. Never. Why? Why would you want to make a $10,000 check when you can make a $100,000 check? Exactly. I could never wrap my mind around that. So wholesaling is great when you need like the cash now. But overall, I would say get into flipping, build some cash flow, and get into the rental game. For me, it's all about the rental game. I'll flip houses. I flip a lot of houses, but my main bread and butter is rental acquisition. It's all about cash flow. Always. It's all about cash flow. People don't get that. I realized real quick, man, that, you know, I can work and make money, or I can work, and that's it. And then just let the money continue making money for me. It's a no-brainer. I don't know why everybody doesn't think like that, but they don't.
You know, one of the things I've learned is that even myself, I'm actually in the process of buying my first 15-unit apartment complex, as you keep seeing me post. And again, it's all about passive income. Because last year alone in the stock market, I made close to $500,000, and I'm actually investing 50% of it into commercial real estate to create more passive income. And a lot of people don't understand the concept. You can't work forever. You can't work forever. You have to put some of those dollars into some asset class that makes you money while you sleep. So I love what you're doing when it comes to that. Let me ask a question too. Like, who's your role model other than your father? Because I see you love Grant Cardone. Is that
Cardone? Cardone is your man. He's a genius. Yeah. I give my hat to him. You know, when I came down here and I wanted to get started, you know, I was doing like a small flip here, a little wholesale there, and I was like, man, how do I grow? How do I turn this into a business? How do I make stupid money, right? And accidentally, I came across actually before I discovered GC was Dan Locke, FU Money. It came up in
I have the book. Yeah.
Listen,
the guy
that book changed. It changed my life. It changed my life. I'm sitting there at the gym. Everybody's listening to music. I'm sitting there listening to Dan Locke, FU Money. I'm getting pumped as hell. After I finished that book, that's when I discovered the 10X rule by GC. It changed everything for me. It basically said, look, you're doing the right thing. You know how to make the money. Now, why not scale it? Why not 10X it? And I'm like, why not? Really? What's stopping me from taking that one deal and doing 10 deals? And if you're doing 10 deals, why not do 100 deals? If you can do one, you can do 10. If you can do 10, you can do 100. Why not? And that's it. That's it. And all it came down to was discipline, man, and mindset. Discipline and mindset. And the sacrifices that I had to make, you know, a lot of people aren't willing to make these sacrifices. They like their life. They like their comfortability. They like their 9 to 5. They like their paycheck every other week, you know.
Very true. It's very true.
Their 10-day vacation days a year. I can't do that, man. I can't do that. I'd rather work 24/7 and live my life according to my terms and travel when I want, do what I want, you know, not have to worry about the next payment, the next bill. You know, it's so easy in this country, you know. I just don't understand why everybody doesn't do it. Yeah.
You know what it is? I think sometimes a lot of people are programmed to working a 9 to 5 and staying complacent in that 9 to 5. I'm not against a 9 to 5, again, as a foundation to get to where you really want to get to.
Right.
The problem with a lot of people is they get into the 9 to 5,
the cycle,
their feet up, and get complacent and stagnant. They don't realize that life is passing you by, and the only people's dreams you're fulfilling is the people you work for. And that's a sad reality. And then at the end of the day, you're right. There's no freedom. You can't travel when you want. You can't take off when you want. You're maxed out on how much you're going to let a company tell you how much you're worth, which is crazy to me. Okay. But let me ask this. You must go through difficult times doing real estate.
Always. Always.
And one of the things I want to ask you, what is the most difficult components of doing real estate other than probably sourcing capital, if that's a problem for you? What's some of the most difficult things you can get for people who want to get into real estate and flip real? What's some difficult things you go through in real estate?
The most difficult thing that I have to go through is the mindset, right? It's pushing myself to keep on going because there's no such thing as an easy day. There's good days, there's bad days, but there's no easy days. You just got to keep on hustling, got to keep on pushing. Capital was obviously a very, very big challenge in the beginning.
For sure.
You know, when I started, when I actually came down here, I had zero money. So I actually, let me rewind a little bit because I really want to get this out there for anybody that's watching so they really understand the whole picture and not just half the picture, because a lot of
Please
people
do.
think that I
Please give
came
them
in
the gems.
with a silver spoon in my mouth. When I was working in real estate back in 03, 04, or 05, up until the recession hit, and then things kind of didn't go too well, I actually got in some trouble with the law, man, and I got locked up for a year, believe it or not. I came out with a felony in my record. They revoked my real estate license. I had nothing, okay? I was living back with my mom's. I tried to get a job at McDonald's twice. They told me no. I ended up just kind of hustling and working on computers. I was literally repairing computers for old ladies for $15 an hour.
Wow,
that was really what I was doing. I was doing that for a while and working as a driver for Mercedes and all sorts of little gigs here and there. And in my mind, I always knew, man, I had the potential to be a millionaire, but how would I go about it? What is it that I can do? I had the stigma. I had my record. I couldn't do anything. When I came down here, I realized that it was possible to get your real estate license. Now, mind you, you don't need a real estate license to be a real estate investor, but it definitely helps, you know?
No, you don't.
So,
correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely
but
helps.
I jumped through every hoop the state needed me to jump in order to sit there, clear my record, clear my past, get my real estate license, got my real estate license. I remember the day they gave it to me. I had tears coming down my eyes, man. I was so emotional. I was like, man, this is a fresh start. I'm going to do something with this. And I did. And this was in 2016.
Wow.
This was in 2016. I was down here at that point. I had zero money. I had just met a girl that I was dating who actually introduced me to you at the time when I was filing taxes. If you remember, I was filing back taxes for like $12,000 per year.
Yeah, I remember clearly.
That's where this came from, man. And then I worked with a company that was doing wholesaling across the state of Florida, and I learned from them the business. For the first 3 months, I learned from them the business, but it just killed me inside. I'm sitting there, 30 agents. And everybody's comfortable making a small percentage of a small percentage of a small percentage. And I'm seeing these investors, these sharks, these whales, and they're making, like you said, these boo-boo checks. And it's blowing my mind. I'm like, why can't I make it? I want to be on that end. I said, what is it going to take for me to do that? I ended up leaving there. This was in Fort Lauderdale back when I was living there. And I ended up moving in with my pops over here in the Tampa area.
One of our connections is acting up a little bit. Hold on. Roy, give me one second.
Yes.
Is your connection okay?
Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi.
Okay, stay on. Let me switch connection 1 second. Hold on. I'm not sure why. I'm on Wi-Fi.
Uh-oh. I think we lost you. That's it. You back?
Yeah, I see you clearly.
There we go.
I hear you clearly, but for some reason, the connection was dropping, and I'm on Wi-Fi also.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Continue. Tell me your story.
So I call up my mom, who lives in Israel at the time, and I asked her, I said, Mom, look, I have this deal in my hand. I've never seen this house. I've never been to the state, but it's for $20,000. I kind of like Zillow comped it just to see. It didn't seem like the worst deal. I said, how bad can it be? She wired me that money. She trusted me enough to wire me that money. That was her entire life savings. She wired me that money. I took that 20 grand. I bought that house. I took my credit card. I bought a flight ticket. This was in January to Atlanta, Georgia. I took some pictures of that house. I wholesaled it. The following day, I sold it for 40 grand and I flew back. All right. I took that 40 grand. I sent my mom the 20 plus interest. I took the remaining balance. I put it into marketing. I said, let's just see what happens. I did some local marketing around my zip code. Some deals started coming. I started meeting with sellers, meeting with people, just like I was taught back in 03, 04 when I was just knocking on doors as a kid. Hey, do you want to sell your house? Hey, do you want to sell your house? I got a deal in hand. I couldn't afford that deal. Asked everybody. Nobody wanted to talk to me. Hard money lenders. Who are you? You know, if you don't have tax returns, if you don't have an LLC, no respect, no nothing.
Yeah.
Look, guys, it's a good deal, but nobody wanted to talk to me.
I know how it feels. I was there.
I ended up borrowing 90 grand from my ex-girlfriend, that same girl at the time. She trusted me enough to do that deal. We did that deal. That deal went through, got some more capital. That capital went into the next deal. The next deal ended up being an $86,000 wholesale. Don't ask me how, just $86,000 net wholesale like that. It was insane. And that really gave me a big start, you know, and then from there, it was just one house, another house. a small rental. I remember acquiring my first rental. I still have it today. And the cash flow on that one was $400 a month. It was hard saying, you know, I can sell this house and make $40,000 now, or a mere $400 a month. But when you start thinking, hey, man, this $400 and this $400, and if you get another one and another one, man, and you know, next thing you know, you're at $2,000 a month. Hey, man, I don't got to worry about rent no more, right?
Can I ask you a question?
Thinking, yeah.
Not to cut you off. Continue. I want to ask you a question when you're done.
No, I'm just saying it's just a matter of putting the mindset into it and seeing that, hey, man, 2 turns to 4, 4 turns to 8. The next thing you know, you get enough cash flow to pay for everything. And that's when I realized that rentals is the way to go. Rentals is the way to go all day.
A lot of people tend to, and I'm glad we're having this live, because Roy, you're one of those individuals I've been wanting to speak to live for a long time, because people don't understand. People listen to this guy's story, criminal record. Okay, he didn't stop and give up on himself. He continuously said, let me still get in the world of real estate. Let me still invest. Let me still be great. Let me still have stamina to be able to put myself in a position within 5 to 7 years to become a millionaire, currently driving a Lamborghini and a Mercedes. Within a 5 to 7 year stretch, this guy became a millionaire. See, and the reason these type of lives are so important, me and him were 2 regular guys that came from nothing. That became millionaires in this world from nothing. Nothing. No, people don't understand how powerful this is. You know, and this guy is showing you mindset is one. Having the right people around you, your social factors, is 2. Learning, and let me ask this question. How do you know what's a deal? Because this is the biggest thing a lot of people don't understand. How do you know a deal is a deal in the world of real estate that you're doing in Tampa, Florida today?
So the most important thing if you're going to get into real estate is obviously learn the essentials of real estate, learn the basics of real estate, work with someone like myself who's already doing it, learn how to comp these houses, learn the numbers. One thing that I learned a long time ago, which is a big mistake that a lot of people make, is don't stretch the numbers. Don't make the numbers work for you. If the numbers don't work, the numbers don't work, right? And a perfect example is wholesalers will often try selling you a house at numbers that just don't make sense. You know, I had a wholesaler try to sell me a house for $115,000 a while back with a $145,000 ARV and $40,000 in repairs. I said, well, how much money am I supposed to be losing on this deal? That wasn't a deal. It was obvious. Well, if you don't do the kitchen and you don't do stainless steel appliances and you don't do the floors and you just splash some paint on it, now you cut the budget in half for renovations. And what if you're lucky enough to get 160 instead of 145? You can't work like that. You can't do risky deals. I don't do risky deals. I don't think I've lost maybe on one deal, and that was really early in the beginning because, you know.
No, we all. I definitely lost on deals too. Don't get me wrong. I lost on some real estate deals. I miscalculated or I overcalculated, or like you say, trying to make the numbers work. And that's where you truly go wrong. A lot of people don't understand how powerful that is. Knowing your numbers because again, I did a video a couple weeks back talking about understanding what opportunity makes sense to you. What is a deal? And a lot of people don't understand how powerful that is, because every deal is not a deal. It may be a deal to the next person, but it may not be to you. Because what makes the difference between every deal is, one is how you're financing it. Are you paying cash? Are you going conventional? Are you FHA by theory? 2, at the end of the day, what are you doing with that deal? Sometimes it's not a deal to rehab. It might be a deal to rent. It might be a deal to wholesale. You know, so you make a good point. My thing is, you know, going through your journey, do you have any partners, or just a one-man investment team here?
One-man show.
Okay.
So I have people that work for me now and help and assist, but it's always been just me. You know, for the longest time, I was working, you know, out of my living room on the computer, making it all happen until I came across the office. And I bought, you know, the biggest, baddest office in town, man, 3,300 square foot. It's $1 million office. I bought it for half price last year, man. And yeah, that ended up being a crazy deal within itself. Yeah. So, but
are you
leveraging
any capital from other investors, or are you using all your money? Do you have partners when it comes to leveraging capital?
It doesn't matter. That's a great question. It doesn't matter how much money you got. Always leverage money. Always.
For sure.
Always use other people's money, because you can just spread further. You know, it's
for sure.
The goal is to scale. The goal is to scale. My goal is not right now, it's not to make money, it's not to make millions, it's to scale. It's to just continue growing the pool of cash flow. That's it, right? I'm 36 years old. I've given myself till I'm 40. In 40 years old, you're going to catch me retired. If I'm still where I'm at right here, right now, today, I'm retired like a king. But no, I'm going to give myself 4 more years to crush it, raise that cash flow as much as I can over the next 4 years, man, and that's it. And then live my best life. Because why not?
Let me ask this question.
Yeah.
With all the money you're making, what other assets are you invested into other than real estate?
Crypto.
Why crypto?
I love crypto.
Let me hear that answer.
You know,
why crypto, and which crypto is it, if you don't mind?
Right now, mainly in Cardano. But I always mess with it, man. You know, when Bitcoin came, when Bitcoin was $200 a coin, I bought $5,000 worth at the time. And I remember telling everybody, go buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. They're like, oh man, you're stupid, you're crazy. Why are you wasting your time with that stuff? And when that $5,000 turned to like a mill, people were like, oh, that's right, shoulda, woulda, coulda, you know? The thing with crypto is you got to know when to sell. You got to know when to buy. At the end of the day, you got to understand how the market works. I'm not going to say by any means am I a crypto expert, but I can tell you that if you have money sitting in the bank right now, you're losing. It should be sitting in crypto. Right now, we are in a very, very heavy dip. Buy right now. If you have some money, go buy some.
You know, I love how you say that, because a lot of people don't understand when you're making money, there's also another step to it. Where do you invest the money again? Where do you make the money work for you? Because a lot of us, some people don't realize that some people are fighting just to make money, but nobody's planning on understanding what to do with the money after you made it. Because if you don't have a plan in place, what a lot of you essentially going to do is blow the money into material things that's not going to get you anywhere. And what you don't realize is, based on what Roy's saying, based on where you hear what both of us are talking about is, you know, passive income, long-term investment. When you're talking crypto, long-term investment, the world is in this metaverse world. The world is going crypto. It's already happening. Are you able to see the long-term picture? Do you hear what this guy is saying? I'm 35. He's 36. He's trying to retire at 40. I feel him on it. I'm in the same boat. I'm tired of working, man. I'm tired of working. I'm sorry. At a young age.
I want to ask you this, and tell me if you follow me on this, because this is the one thing that I feel a lot of people don't realize, right? Let's take $100,000 just as a random example. It doesn't matter if it's 110 grand, whatever. Take $100,000. It's sitting in the bank, okay? $100,000 sitting in the bank. Let's call it 10 years ago. You know, and let's just say that a can of Coke cost you $1, right? You could buy 100,000 cans of Coke, right? Now you still have that same 100,000 sitting in that bank. You can buy what, 50,000, right? Cans of Coke, right? The price went up, basically inflation.
For sure.
So you still have the same amount of money, but it's valued significantly less. Now let's take that same exact $100,000. It's sat in a piece of real estate. Now that piece of real estate is worth $200,000 or maybe even more. Not to mention that all of those years, that $100,000 kept paying you dividends every month. Here's money, here's money, here's money, here's money. And when eventually you decide to get out of it, it's already doubled itself in value in addition to that.
You know, what Roy is also talking about, people, is appreciation equity. Real estate has very unique features, not just a passive income component. It also has a component where there's equity. Equity that you can leverage, equity where you can actually sell the home and cash out. A lot of us don't understand, especially in this high expensive market right now, you got to understand how you're buying. And then you got different type of mindsets when it comes to investors. Some people like, there's no deals. There's always a deal.
Always deals.
You know your numbers.
Always. Let me tell you, the hardest part of my business isn't finding deals. It's finding good people to work on the houses. That's always been the issue. Finding deals.
About to ask you that.
Yeah, that's the hardest part is relying on other people. If I didn't have to rely on other people to renovate the houses and whatnot, man, where I'd be today. Finding deals, I can tomorrow. If I really wanted a deal, I'd find a deal tomorrow. It's not the hardest if you're actually willing to put the work into it. People aren't willing to put in the work. They tell me, oh, what you're saying sounds easy. And I ask them, well, what are you doing about it? Are you actually trying? Did you try? Did you do anything? Did you open a book? Did you read a license? Did you do anything? No. You're not, if people aren't willing to put in the work, then they can't just sit there and say that it sounds easy.
You know, one of the things is I've learned that a lot of us in this world today, we're not realistic with life. We want, like you say, we want the lifestyle, but we don't want to apply ourselves in reality. And I can imagine the hours you sacrificed in life, the friends you sacrificed in life, the late sleepless nights you sacrificed in life to get to where you're at. And a lot of people don't understand. The same thing like myself. I get a lot of my students, I call them mentees, but they're grown adults and just people that follow me on Mentourme. They're always like, well, Bobby, how did you become a millionaire? At the end of the day, people, it's sacrifices. It's stamina. It's never giving up. I had years of before I got to this level of making a lot of money trading stocks, close to $500,000 a year, $250,000, sometimes $600,000 a year. I was losing $70,000, $80,000 a year learning this world of stocks. 6 years later, I would say, okay, I finally got a gist. Now I'm 10 years deep. I kind of mastered the craft, even though the market's down right now. But I've mastered the craft. But like you say, guys, right now it's a great time to buy stock. It's a great time to buy crypto. The market, there's a big dip. It's down badly. I'm down on some of my stocks 80%. Also, real estate, guys, as you guys hear what he's saying, being around the right people makes a difference so you can leverage into a property. Knowing what a deal is makes sense. Creating passive income, having money work for you, that's what he's talking about. He don't want to work for the rest of his life. He want to get to a point, if he's already not there, making $50,000 to $100,000 automatically. He don't even have to wait. He don't even have to move. It's $100,000 is coming passively in his bank account.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. It's the simplest thing in the world. You go and you work for money, or you go and you make your money work for you. I don't know why everybody isn't on the same mindset. I don't have any special college degrees. I don't have anything special that the next guy doesn't. I don't have nothing that the next person doesn't have other than the will, motivation, determination, and ambition. So why not just get into that mindset, man? Take your money, go put it to work. Build an army of working.
The problem with a lot of people, Roy, they're risk adverse. They're always concerned about the risk. They'll be so concerned about the risk, they'll never start. They'll use that risk factor to never start. I've had people tell me, oh, I always wanted to do this. I always want to flip real estate. I always want to do stocks. I always wanted to do this. How come you never started? You're 35 years old, 40 years old. When are you going to start? You're going to start when you're 55, when you're old? I love what you got going on, and that's why I can relate to you a lot, because why not enjoy life while you're young? Why not drive Lamborghinis while you're young? Why not enjoy passive income while you're young? Because, again, I love what Mike Advisor just tuned in and said, nothing is guaranteed. Your life is not guaranteed.
That's right. That's right. But if you don't, but you know what is guaranteed? Failure is guaranteed if you don't try.
Facts. Roy, it's, my God, a job can fire you any day. A job can fire you any day. I don't know why people don't understand that. Jobs, like Robert T. Kiyosaki says, just over broke. Many people go in jobs broke and leave jobs broke. Jobs will never pay you what you're worth. You have to know what you're worth, and that's what Roy is doing. Do you guys hear the journey? For the man to get arrested within a 5 to 7 year stretch, create $1 million net worth, living his best life, working for himself, learning that
built a lot more than $1 million net worth, brother.
Oh, I'm so sorry to disrespect you. I'm so sorry to give you the edge of the 7 figures.
Listen, the moment that I saw how replicable it was, the moment I started making money and realizing how replicable it was, I cut out everything. I cut out parties. I cut out all the noise. I cut out everything. I moved. All my friends live 40 minutes away in Party City. I live in the suburb. There's nothing around here, but it kept me focused. They're always telling me, why don't you come down there and live, closer to the scene? Come out. I said, look, I'm here to make my money, man, and I'll catch you in 4 years, and then I'll party as much as I'd like. Right now, if I can, make money, why not? Let it, it's
the energy.
That's it. It's a pure hustle.
For a lot of you that just tuned in, if you have any questions for Roy Sipel, people, this is real estate guru from Tampa. This man has created a 7-figure net worth, not 1 million, maybe 2 or 3 or $4 million net worth, people. And again, this has happened in a 5 to 7 year stretch. This is a good friend of mine. I know where he started from. This is a blessing to see a guy, you know,
I had
that's
zero
so
when I
close.
met you. Zero. Like literally, man. What did I have when I met you? You remember? We were filing
we had to do what we had to do at certain points. I remember.
That's it.
Unbelievable story,
like that, man.
And that's why I say in life, anything is possible. It, like you say, and I'm always say this to people. It's not about having a whole bunch of money. It's always about being braver than the next man, having stamina, being consistent, being persistent, and you can win in life. I grew up in the world working for a guy from Lebanon, making $40, working 70 hours a week when I was 14 years old. Working for companies when I was 20 years old, making $30,000 a year. I thought that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
To be in a position now, a company couldn't even offer me $200 an hour. I wouldn't take it. I would never take it because of my freedom. I'm not interested.
That's
not interested.
Exactly it.
Appreciate it. I'm not interested.
It's all about freedom. It's not about the money. It's about the freedom.
It's about the freedom, 100%. Anybody got any questions for Mr. Roy Sipel himself, the real estate cartel from Tampa? Okay, here we go. We got a question for you, Roy. What advice would you give to someone that just started as far as real estate? Are we talking traditional real estate or flipping real estate? Can we get a clarification on that question?
Yeah, did you get your license?
Let me see if that person can answer that question. We're letting Roy Sipel answer some questions. Do you guys have any questions about flipping real estate, about passive income real estate, buying holding property? This guy has flipped numerous property, rehab numerous properties. This guy has created a 7-figure net worth. Any questions you would like to ask Mr. Roy Sipel himself? The question about what advice would you give? Can you tell me, are you a licensed realtor? Are you asking him in the perspective of as a traditional realtor, flipping real estate? Which angle are you asking?
I'll answer that regardless, because here's how I see it. If you're currently in real estate or looking to get into real estate, if you have your license and you're currently acting as a regular realtor, right? If you're just a realtor, you have your real estate license, you're working for, one of the Remax or one of those, you can make good money. I mean, you can make $100,000 a year, and that's excellent. But if you really want to 10x that, you got to step into the next field, and that's really getting into the investment side of real estate, especially being around real estate so much, having the opportunities to be able to get the good deals when they come about. So you've got to get into that mindset. And what I would recommend is just take all the free time that you have, study, listen, and learn from people like myself who are actively doing it to recognize 100%. What is a deal, right? If you have investors, a lot of realtors will tell me, yeah, I have a whole list of investors. Okay, why aren't you the investor? If they're going to buy that deal from you and make 10, 20, 50, 100 grand, why not let that be you? You don't have the 100 grand. If you don't have if you don't have the money that it takes to purchase that property, but it's going to be profitable like that, then find somebody who's going to give you that money and work with their money for a percentage.
For sure.
Why cut yourself short? So always try to get into that mindset of how to invest and how to acquire real estate if you're going to be in real estate. I also plan on coming up with a course in the next.
I was just about to ask you that. Do you have a course? Because I got a lot of people DMing me about, do you have a course on my other platform that's rolling at the same time right now?
I'm working on it. Yeah, and the thing is that there's a lot of courses out there. There's a lot of great guys out there who are putting out amazing content, but I'm trying to get my course to be a little bit different. I want mine to be something that really explains to the person who's currently working at Burger King flipping burgers, how do you go from there. I don't have a college degree. I don't have special education. I don't have money. I don't have absolutely nothing. What is the blueprint? What is the thing I have to do tomorrow when I wake up? Where do I get started after I brush my teeth in order to be successful and hopefully build millions over the next 5 years? So I want it to be in detail to that extent and not just generalized, read a book, do this, do that.
For sure.
So,
I love how you're saying that, because one of the problems I hate, and I was just talking to one of my associates about this, nothing is worse than you have people online saying, you could do these 3 easy steps and make $1 million. This is baloney talk. This is baloney talk. We need people to really learn from the bottom. How does it work? The follow-up process, the mindset, the lifestyle. the time management.
Exactly.
All these things, the sacrifices, turning off your apps and different things that you probably do every day that I'm doing to be great every single day.
Yeah.
You know, it's such a blessing, man. Such a blessing. Roy, really appreciate you taking time out your beautiful day and your beautiful lifestyle to be able to give some great gems to our audience here, because we need it. A lot of people need to hear the truth. A guy comes from 5 to 7 years of great effort and great work to become a multi-millionaire in the Tampa world of real estate. Appreciate you coming on, Roy.
Appreciate it, man.
Where can people find you? For a lot of people that want to follow you on IG, Mr. Multi-Millionaire, Tampa Goat, Cartel. How can we find Roy?
Roy Sipel on Instagram. Yeah, I'm not really active on other social medias, to be honest. I know I should be, but time, I try to block my time as much as I can, but I try to, post as much as I can, my activities and whatnot on IG. Anybody who's welcome to follow me. I will be coming up with that course soon, and if you're interested, I'll be offering all sorts of mentorship and anything else. I love watching other people succeed. Once you reach a certain point, bringing other people up with you is a great feeling. I've helped a lot of my friends, and I'm always there. If anybody ever has any, don't be afraid to DM me, send me a message, anything at all. I'd be more than happy to always help and support.
Hey, got people, you heard it here first. Appreciate the love. Roy Sipel is in the building. Before you close out, I got a personal question for you.
Yes, sir.
If I wanted to buy some land in Tampa, and I'm trying to get more, I want more land. Is this the right time to buy land? I know not in real estate to own unless you're passively creating passive income. To buy land, is there any developing area in Tampa that you could possibly say, well, Bobby, I got something for you?
I think that everybody and their mother is looking for land right now out here, literally. And one thing that people always tell me, people always ask me is exactly what you just said. Is now a good time to buy, whether it's land, houses? So let me just put it like this. It's always a good time to buy at the right price. Always.
For sure.
It's always a good time to buy at the right price. Right? I mean, people, when the market started shooting up, oh, you're still buying? Of course I'm still buying. I'm just getting them at the right price. It's how it has to be. I'm paying a little more, but it's still worthwhile. You just got to be able to analyze the deals. As far as land deals out here, I'll definitely keep you posted if something big comes up, man, for sure.
Currently, how many properties do you own currently right now anyway?
Right now, I have 30 doors that are cash flowing close to $20,000 a month net. And a bunch of others that are currently in the mix and the flips. I've sold a bunch when the market right now just shot up.
Impressive.
In the past COVID, I liquidated a lot. I mean, I had houses that literally appreciated almost $100,000 in a few months. It was insane. So I was like, okay, yeah.
Impressive.
So I cashed out on all of those. And, a lot of it really did come down to this one. Just like with the Lambo, I said to myself, I could have afforded it a while ago, but I said, I will buy it when it comes out of the cash flow, when I don't even feel the dent.
Exactly.
And that's it.
Exactly. That's the same way I feel. I'm actually getting a Lambo Evo in a couple of years, and I feel the same thing. Why not let my passive cash flow in my apartment complex pay for my Lambo payment? Because that's how I feel about it. You let your income pay your debt. See, the problem with our cycle today, the mental cycle of a lot of people, we're always just focused on buying material because in theory, it makes certain types of people feel better. But people, that's not the right way of buying. Wealthy people buy assets that pay for their debt. That's how the game goes. That's how the game goes. People, you heard it here first. Your boy, Roy Sipel from Tampa.
I appreciate it, Dan. Thank
Real
you very
Estate
much, brother.
Cartel. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate the live.
Thank you, guys.
I will be
Thank you
posting
very
this
much.
tomorrow fully.
Yes.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. You guys have a great night. Roy Sipel in the building.
Have a good night. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye.